Is that like an influence on you to jump into being an investor in real estate?
Yeah, I can say that. I feel like it was kind of just in my blood already, man. Like I said, my grandfather was a real estate investor. And I
Mm,
really believe, stuff runs in your blood. And I believe that's what really runs in my blood, with him having that, you know, input in his life, in my mother's life as well. I feel like it just ran down to me, and I just always was wanted to be my own boss. Like I never
yeah.
really wanted to have a job for the rest of my life. Like I said,
Mm,
I never want to be working 60 years, 50 years. I want to get to a point in my life where I can sit back with my feet up on the beach and raise my kids and have fun, man. I truly don't believe that life is meant to work your entire life. Like I
mm,
really don't.
yeah.
So I would say Texas did have a big influence on that because, going there and seeing, these big lights, these big buildings and being around different people in different rooms, man, it really put me in a place where it's like, okay, my one of my best friends is doing X, Y, and Z, and he's making X, Y, and Z a month, and he's his own boss. And
Mm,
this person over here that I play football with, he's doing this, and he owns this trucking company and doing this. So putting me around those people, it really made me like, okay, let me find my way. I already have it in me. Let me find my niche and find my way. And the real estate just kind of fell in my lap because it was already there. It was a
yeah.
good foundation that was already laid out for me, and I just want to attack that foundation and use that. And that's kind of how I went about it, man.
Write down your goals, then you get committed. Now you stepping in your power and you find day is a message and every lesson.
And we are back, season 3, episode 3. I'm your guy, Visionary, a road to Soulace, where we on the road to completion of oneself. So we got a real special guest today, my guy Brandon Mykal.
What's the deal,
How you
man?
feeling, man? On a scale of 1 to 10,
Checking in, man. I'm feeling like a 10, man.
a 10? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
feeling
great.
like a 10 right now. I'm
That's
feeling
great.
good, man.
I don't gotta check in on you and be like,
Yeah,
hey, now.
life
Okay,
pretty good right now, man.
that's great, man. That's great. We're gonna kick it off before we go deep back into, back into your story and the roots of everything. We're gonna start with the either or.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Just to open up, man, the people gotta feel you where your mindset
For
at. You know
sure,
what I
for
mean?
sure. Let's do it.
All right, so we got 11 sections. So the first one is compatibility or chemistry.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with chemistry, man. We gotta
Mm,
connect. The
mm,
chemistry gotta be there on every level. Business,
yeah,
love life, all that.
for
Chemistry
sure.
gotta be there.
Okay, okay. Winning a lottery or finding your soulmate.
Oh, winning the lottery for sure.
Oh.
I'll find my soulmate. I'll find my soulmate after
A
that.
lady, yeah, yeah. Okay. Ambition or comfort.
Ambition for sure. Gotta
Okay.
have that ambition, man.
Yeah. Book smarts or street smarts. Wow.
That's a great one. I'm gonna go with street smarts, man, because it be some smart dummies out here, man. You gotta be able to survive in those
Right.
trenches, man. So I'll go with
Yeah.
street smart,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. The smartest, being the smartest person in the world or the richest person in the world.
Ooh, I say the smartest. I guess
Mm,
I could say being the smartest, it'll bring you the richest. Being smart, because you
hmm.
can be smart in many different ways. Being smart with your money can lead to being rich. So I'll go with being the smartest.
Yeah. What you say about people, they be like, man, he the smartest one, but he don't listen to nobody.
Yeah,
It can
I've heard
go.
it so many
Yeah,
times, man.
yeah.
We'll get into it
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. Okay, you got the ability to see the future or change the past.
Mm, that's a good one, man.
Yeah.
Uh, I would go with probably changing my past just because I don't want to see the
Mm,
future. You know what I'm saying? Like
mm,
I want to let it come, but I go back and do some things different in my past though, for sure.
mm.
Yeah.
Got you. Passion or gratitude.
Uh, I'm gonna go with gratitude. You always gotta show gratitude, man. You
Yeah.
always, man. Passion is a big one too, but I go with gratitude.
Mm. Logic or emotion.
I'm a logical guy.
Mm.
I'm all about making things make sense,
Yeah,
man. So
yeah.
I go with logic.
Okay, okay. Underestimated or overestimated.
Uh, I go with underestimated because I feel
Mm.
like that's how I've been my whole life, man. That's how
Mm.
I thrive.
Yeah.
Being that underdog. So I love being underestimated. Love proving people wrong and things like that. So I'll go with underestimated.
Do you feel like being underestimated, you can handle being overestimated?
I feel like being overestimated brings a lot of pressure, and which
Mm,
causes you to be, overestimated a little bit. You know what I'm saying? If that
yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah,
Go hand in hand
yeah.
almost. Okay. Uh, second chance at love or second chance at your career?
I say second chance at love. I probably got a few things I left on the table with, some good people out there. So I go with second chance at love.
Okay. Last one. Last one. Save 100 strangers or save one loved one?
I
Yeah.
gotta go with the loved one, man. I love everybody, but I gotta go with the
Yeah.
ones closest to me, bro. So I go with that one loved one.
It's like quality.
Yeah,
Quality.
yeah.
Okay. 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 So with the intro, man, like first off, Brandon is a retired Division 1 athlete, Texas State, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Texas
Texas
State.
State. You're a
Hmm.
real estate investor and developer. He's a fashion designer, and he's a co-owner of the brand Culture Ave
Yes, sir.
and a co-owner of the Carpet Kings.
Yes, sir.
So having a list of those, how was it being a Division 1 athlete? Like, what was this? What's the story behind that?
So being a Division 1 athlete, man, it comes with a lot. Like they say, taking you all the way back, just having to go to junior college right out of high school.
Mm,
I didn't just show up in D1. I was a sophomore by the time I got there, or redshirt sophomore. So just going through the trenches of junior college was a struggle within itself.
mm,
It prepared me for the Division 1 level. Just outside of football, just the everyday life of being mature and disciplined,
right.
gaining those things. I feel like that's why God led me to being in junior college first before I went to a Division 1 school, because
Mm,
you need so much more discipline and just being on top of your game, and not just on the field, but in the classroom and in your personal life. Because
yeah.
you show up on that big campus, man, it's a lot of different distractions. So you
Yeah.
need that motivation, that discipline. And playing Division 1 football was a great, man. It was a great opportunity for me to meet a lot of different people,
Mm.
really thrive, and see a lot of different things in the world. So that was one of the dopest things in my life.
What's some of the obstacles that you face, the hardships that you face coming up to get where you wanted to be at the Division 1 level?
Right, right. So taking it all the way back, man, just growing up in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, like, a lot of people don't know, it's a small city right outside of Raleigh, Durham, about
Mm,
45 minutes. So it's a small city, divided by a set of train tracks. And
mm,
I grew up on low income side of those train tracks,
mm,
living in my grandmother's house with my mom, my aunt, cousin, two sisters. We sharing a 3-bedroom home, one bath, and just getting it out the mud, man. Like I like to say,
yeah.
growing up, I didn't realize that, we were essentially poor. I just
Mm,
thought this was the normal way of living.
mm,
But it really made me the man who I am, man. Growing up with a single parent mother, is different. You know,
yeah.
um, she did the best she could with me. A lot
Mm,
of different things that she couldn't teach me as a man. I had to learn just on my own. So just growing up in that environment, man, really taught me a lot and prepared me for what I had next coming in my life, going through, like I said, high school, leading up to the junior college route, and preparing me for the Division 1 route, and
yeah.
now with life in general. So I would say just growing up, man, it really taught me a lot of different things and prepared me for what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Junior college route
Yes, sir.
for a lot of athletes that's they don't have any options. They don't have them Division 1 scholarships or any
Mhm.
scholarships at that. What was the journey like of leaving your hometown? You never been outside of the state after,
Right. Never been outside the state. So
yeah.
just starting with high school, man, not preparing myself as a young kid.
Mm,
I was one of those kids that thought I knew it all. Used my athleticism to get by with everything that I did,
mm,
and really didn't prepare myself, and just thought that someone was gonna come hand me a Division 1 scholarship on a platter because I was a big, tall, fast guy, and it didn't
mm,
work out that way. So my advice to any kid going through high school or even middle school right now, man, is listen to your peers, listen to your adults around you that wants to see you do good and wants the best for you,
yeah.
and not think you have it figured out. Because I was one of those kids that I had it figured out, man. Even from middle school, not recognizing my athleticism at a young age, and
Mm,
having to really go through uh, the experience of going to a college where I'm sitting right next to a guy that's just as fast as me, just as big as me, just
yeah.
as strong as me, and now I gotta outsmart him and
Yeah,
use
that's what it
different things a
is.
different way. So um I would say, man, just be disciplined.
Mm.
Just be disciplined, listen, and just want to do better. Because someone can only help you as much as you want to help yourself. And I
Yeah.
fell into that situation a lot. I didn't want to help myself, so I didn't look at other coaches as like, man, they didn't want to help me, or it
Mhm.
wasn't their fault because I didn't try to help myself.
It was
So
all on you.
yeah, exactly.
Mm. So jumping into okay, so the living situations.
Hmm.
Talk about the living situations at Jewelry College. 'Cause I heard it's a
Oh man.
lot of things you face.
Yeah, it gets grimy, man. So we
Yeah.
living at a 2-bedroom apartment, man. Six of us. Two guys in one room, two guys in another, and two guys in the living room. So it's
Mm.
6 guys in a 2-bedroom apartment. Um, no scholarship, so we're paying out of state tuition.
Mm.
Living off of financial aid. No meal plan, so you got to go out here and eat, whatever you can find to eat. I mean,
Mm.
we're eating cup noodles, going to practice. So you can just imagine your body is fueling off of cup noodles or
Yeah.
a Taco
Mm.
Bell taco going to practice, or maybe some days not even anything.
Mm.
A lot of times. Again, those living situations kind of it grounded me a little bit because it took me back to where I was used to. Like I
Mhm.
said, growing up in the environment in which I grew up, going to junior college, it was just another living situation for me.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy, give me a pillow, a blanket, and a rag to take a shower, and I'm good. So I had already kind of trained myself to kind of live in those situations because
Mm.
I'm just like, man, it don't matter what I got to do right now. I know where I got to get.
Yeah.
So living in those situations for that moment, it really wasn't. It was bad. Don't get it wrong, but that stuff out because I knew my end goal, man. Like, so I tell the kids all the time, if you want to go that route, you have to be able to block that right now phase out and think about the long run. It's
Mhm.
not gonna last forever. You're gonna be somebody's roommate for a few months and then you're going to a nice school and you possibly have your own room
Yeah.
at one
Yeah.
point. So living situation was definitely tough, but again, it's another a phase in which I had to go through to prepare me for something else later on down the road.
Yeah. Keeping the main thing, what
Exactly
you
right.
did.
Exactly right.
Being an entrepreneur, having what you have now, did that mold you to be more responsible financially?
Oh yeah, I would say for sure. Like I said, growing up the way I did, man, I've been poor before. So
Mm.
first and foremost, I know how it is to not have, you know, anything to eat at night or
Mm.
not to have a car to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I keep that always in my mind, no matter how big I get in certain situations, how much money I have. I've always make sure I have um that safe place I can go back and say, you know what, if I run into a bind, I know I got X, Y, and Z saved up to where I can live a certain amount. And I've always been the type that way, man. Like
Yeah.
never live outside my means.
Mm.
As much as I love to dress and buy shoes and stuff like that, I've always knew like, hey, my light bill is due next week. I want these Jordans coming out this week, but this matters more. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I've always had it in my mind state because of how I grew up, how I was raised, and what I've been through life. Man, had to grow up pretty fast. So learning how to save your money and use your money for what was beneficial for you at that time always sat in my
Yeah.
head and I always remember that, man. So that's one of the biggest parts of my life and biggest parts of why I am the way I am and where I am today is because
Mm.
I've took that discipline financially to be able to save and invest my money properly.
Discipline, discipline.
Yeah.
So saving your money, investing your money, being an investor as you are now, what was the journey like of going into that being an investor?
So I take it back. So when I graduated college, man, obviously the NFL thing didn't work out, and I needed a job pretty fast.
Mm.
So what I did was call my uncle. He worked at a company called ABF Freight, which is a freight company, trucking.
Mm.
They had what you call a management trainee program that lasted for 6 months, and then you get promoted to be a supervisor in a warehouse. Obviously, I played football my whole life. I just wanted to play football. I didn't plan on getting a job anywhere other than playing football. So
Mm.
this was something that again, another situation that was just for right now. I never wanted to make a career out of it. I never wanted to be the CEO of a company because I always knew what my end goal was. So like I said, I got this job, called my uncle, got this job, was a management trainee program for 6 months, and was promoted to Houston, and that's how I ended up in Houston. Um, Worked there for about a year and a half. But halfway through that, man, I just was sitting at my job one day and just looked around and realized like I don't want to be like some of these guys I'm supervising. I'm at the time I'm like 23, 24 years old,
Mm.
and I'm supervising guys that are 60 years old still working. I'm just looking at these guys. I'm like, no fault, no disrespect to them, but that's not what I want. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
want more than that to be. I don't want to be on a forklift at 60 years old. So my mind just got to rolling, man, and I called my mom, and asked her, because my grandfather was a real estate investor.
Yeah.
He owned hundreds of properties in Rocky Mount at one point, and my mom was his only heir. So when he died, she received a lot of his properties, but I was like 10 years old at the time
Mm.
when he died, and she sold majority of her properties because again, single mother raising three kids, she had to do what she had to do. So she
Yeah.
sold a large portion of his estate, but she still had some properties left over. And as I'm sitting at work, I'm just thinking about it and just wondering what she did with it. So I just called her and was like, "Hey, what are you doing with some of the properties that you have?" And she was like, "Well, I have one right now, that's a pretty decent house, but it's almost going into foreclosure.
Mm.
The taxes aren't paid on it, and they could be putting it on the foreclosure any day now. So I was like, if I pay the taxes, would you mind deeding it to me? She was like, yeah. I mean, I'm not doing anything with it. So I took, the discipline that I had. I saved up the amount of money that I needed to invest into this property, and bought my first property cash. I wrote a
Mm.
cashier's check, and that's how I received my first property. I paid those taxes down, and she deeded me that property, and I used that formula to continue on and maintain more.
Mm.
So now I'm sitting on a number of properties now, and I've used that same method to gain those.
Mm.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. We are going on break, and we'll be right back with season 3, episode 3.
Every day is a message, and every lesson helps with perspective. Like ambassador.
We are back, season 3, episode 3, with my guy Brandon Mykal. Bro, so before we jump into the big picture, the real estate, the college scene.
Hmm.
You say you didn't make it. You didn't make it to the NFL. One of your ultimate dreams coming
Right.
up. What was the cause of that?
Man, I would just say, just not applying myself, being lazy. So taking it back all the way when I first started playing sports, man. So flag football, when I first got introduced to football in general, man, I've always been the most athletic guy on the team, the fastest guy on the team, the biggest person at my position.
Mm.
And I think that I kind of relied on my athleticism a little too much. So going from, little league flag football being the best guy on my team, to middle school being the best guy on the team, to high school being one of the best guys on the team, and then getting to the college level and realizing, okay, these guys are just as good as you, if not better. Um, I feel like growing up, I just kind of was big headed a little bit. One of
Mm.
those kids that thought he knew it all because I had it. At least I thought I did, anyways. And like I said earlier, just not listening to the people around me that saw the good in me. Teachers used to tell me all the time, like, "Hey, Brandon, like you could be a first round draft pick if you apply yourself, and just choose a different route than being in the streets." And I just wasn't hearing it.
Mm.
So that had a lot to do with it, man. Just being, what I like to say now is just being lazy. I feel like not applying myself, um, and I don't look at it like a regret. It was a learning lesson, man.
Mm.
Again, it
Yeah.
was a situation where I had to learn. Granted, it took me my whole life basically to learn that, but I got to the point where now I'm a lot more humble now, and I look to learn every day from whoever it is and listen, to the people around me that want to see me do better, man. So I won't make that same mistake in the business world that I did
Yeah.
in my athletic career.
Mm. So going into Texas,
Mhm.
the whole environment of Texas, was that like an influence on you to jump into being an investor in real estate?
Yeah, I can say that. I feel like it was kind of just in my blood already, man. Like I said, my grandfather was a
Mm.
real estate investor. And I
Mm.
really believe, stuff runs in your blood, and I believe that's what really runs in my blood. With him having that, you know, input in his life, in my mother's life as well. I feel like it just ran down to me, and I just always was wanted to be my own boss. Like I never
Yeah.
really wanted to have a job for the rest of my life. Like I said,
Mm.
I never want to be working 60 years, 50 years. I want to get to a point in my life where I can sit back with my feet up on the beach and raise my kids and have fun, man. I truly don't believe that life is meant to work your entire life. Like I
Mm.
really don't.
Yeah.
So I would say Texas did have a big influence on that because going there and seeing these big lights, these big buildings, and being around different people in different rooms, man, it really put me in a place where it's like, okay, my one of my best friends is doing X, Y, and Z, and he's making X, Y, and Z a month, and he's his own boss. And
Mm.
this person over here that I play football with, he's doing this, and he owns this trucking company and doing this. So putting me around those people, it really made me like, okay, let me find my way. I already have it in me. Let me find my niche and find my way. And the real estate just kind of fell in my lap because it was already there. It was a
Yeah.
good foundation that was already laid out for me, and I just want to attack that foundation and use that. And that's kind of how I went about it, man.
So relationships.
Mhm.
You feel that relationships like get you past beyond your limits? Like the relationships that you build is really how you get far, or is it something else?
Oh yeah, I would definitely say relationships, man. Even from high school, just having different coaches and different older people around me that
Yeah.
had different connections to places, man. It really took me further and put me in some rooms that I might not have been able to get in if I didn't know those people or had that relationship with those people.
Mm.
Like they always say, never burn bridges. You never know who you're gonna meet, you never know who you're talking to. That's why when I meet people, I'm always, you know, respectful to them because you never know who they are, what room they could potentially
Yeah.
put you in. And then just going to junior college and meeting guys from all over the country, Florida, California,
Mm.
Georgia, Texas, like just meeting so many different people. It really put me in a space where, you know, if I go to New York this weekend, I can call up a friend that I know and he can show me around there. If I go to Florida, I can call up a guy that I play with in junior college and,
Mm.
I'm good there. So having those connections, man, really helped me get far in life. And it's really showing me now how much of a team you really need. Because I've
Yeah.
always been like a for myself person to do things on myself but don't need anybody. But you definitely need a team.
Mm.
And
Feel that.
going around the world like I've been,
Mm.
building those relationships is really helped me put together a pretty good team that I have now.
Yeah. It's crazy. You kind of flow right into it. Like like the team. That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
The culture F, like just
Mhm.
or just like your whole circle, what qualities in your team that you know that you need that's out of yourself. If you take yourself outside of yourself and you be
Mhm.
like, man, this is something that I lack, but I need this around me, these type of people around me. What type of qualities in other people that you like, yeah, I need
Man,
that.
just those people that just want to go get it, man. Free spirited, always looking at things as a learning lesson and not a negative thing, man. I need
Mm.
a lot of positivity
Solution
around me.
based.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
solution based, man. Like, what's the issue? Okay, let's figure it out. Let's not take no for an answer.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
those are the type of people that I surround myself with, that I do business with. Both of my business partners are the exact same way. And that's why I feel like we mesh well together because
Mm.
we're all the same.
Yeah.
Even my friends that I'm not in business partnerships with, we're the same on a lot of different levels. You know what I mean? So, um, like I said, that's a huge thing, man. Is that goes with business in general, is being on the same page and
Yeah.
having the same qualities in what you're looking for in business and life in general. Like we might not agree all the time on certain things, but
Mm.
we have a mutual respect for each other to be able to figure out a solution for what we have and how to get some money together. So it goes a long way.
Yeah. So now going into so you say you have similarities when it comes to qualities, but now it's a struggle. It's a struggle all over the world, especially
Mhm.
social media. A lot of people lack morals. How important morals?
Man, morals are everything to me, man. You have to have your morals, like, because if you don't have morals, you don't have anything to stand
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Like,
You falling
so
for anything.
exactly. So a
Yeah.
person with no morals, man, I can't even be around a person like that because you will do something, to cut me in my back, and
Yeah.
if
Shice
I
you out.
can't trust you, I just can't do anything with you, not even have a conversation with you. Um, I love energy. That's why I love the fact that
And
you invited
yeah,
me on the platform, man, and we connected the way we did.
for sure.
Morals have to be the same way, and it's noticed right away. When you
Mm.
meet somebody, it's right away like, okay, I can tell what his principles and morals are.
Mm, yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's instant. And that's how my life has been my entire life, man. Like, even going back to junior college, bro, like I would walk into a room or got as soon as I flew to California and walked to the locker room, everybody that was supposed to like click together, mesh together.
Mm.
You know what I mean? If that makes sense. Like, we walk into the room, the guys that are the same are gonna naturally gravitate towards each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
You know what I
Energy don't
mean? We
lie. And yeah.
exactly. So that's
Mm.
very big, man. We all have the same morals and I know that I can trust this person to do, pretty much anything with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Culture Ave.
Hmm.
What's different than what's different that Culture Ave bring to the world, bring to the like how is they different? How is Culture Ave brand different from any other brands?
So Culture Ad was created in the midst of a pandemic. We came up with Culture Ab in the heart of the pandemic. As soon as it happened, me and my business partner hopped on the phone and we just wanted to make a difference in not just make clothes, but make a difference in the culture. A lot of
Yeah.
people throw around the word culture all the time. And we really just want to, really do something for the culture. So what we did to separate ourselves was we decided to give a percentage of our sales to inner city kids that
Mm,
want to be entrepreneurs, real estate investors like myself, or have their own clothing line or anything that they wanted to do. We're giving back to that. You know what I mean? And that's what it's all about. Is if you're gonna walk around and say you're for the culture this and for the culture that, you got let me see what you're doing for them. Because
right.
I can show you what we're doing for them, and it's been great. Um, you know, we drop almost every other season.
Mm,
Right now, I'm wearing what we call our Drip or Drown jogger set.
yeah, I need that. I need that.
Available right now on CoachAv.com.
Okay.
We have a summer line coming out this summer. And we're
Yeah.
just continuing to try to separate ourselves. Like you said, man, we
Mm-hmm.
knew going into it that we were gonna have to do something to separate ourselves because now that you look at it, everybody has a clothing line. And it's
Yeah.
like what makes your clothing line different than the rest. So not only do we do the giving back to the culture, we also the quality that we put into our work is unmatched.
Mm-hmm.
We hand design everything that we do.
Ooh.
Everything we do is custom design. Like you won't really see it anywhere. So it's
Mm,
almost like you have a one-on-one. We
mm-hmm.
don't really make a lot of quantity of what we do. We might drop 20 of something or 30 of something. So
Yeah.
the chances of you having it with somebody else is pretty slim.
That's
So
great
and
though.
we've
Yeah.
touched all 50 states at this point, man. So
Mm,
shout out to all the people that shop with Coach Ab, man,
yeah.
and, and,
Congrats.
and, and support us.
Yeah, for sure. The Carpet Kings.
Yes, sir.
How did y'all come up with that? Like, what was it? What was the intentions of coming up with that?
So Carpet Kings is another business deal I did with another teammate of mine, a good friend of mine. This was kind of after the pandemic a little bit happened. We just wanted to sit down and come up with another source of income.
Mm,
Long story short, basically, I had never cleaned carpet a day in my life, and neither had he. But we saw an opportunity, again, that made sense to both of us. The overhead was not that high to start the business, and to learn it, it wasn't that hard as well. We took a couple courses and had a couple people show us some things, but me and him both, man, like I said, we just got out there and started it and just trial and error, like
mm,
really trial and error.
that's
I'm
the
talking
best way.
about Texas. We started in the summer, man. Texas heat. Not sure if you ever been, but it's crazy. So
Yeah, heard it.
we're out
Heard
there in a van that we had just bought for $6,000 with a machine to clean carpet, not knowing a way how to do it, but we figured it out.
it. Mm,
The machine broke down on us several times in the middle of doing jobs with people.
mm,
So we just went through it all, man. And I'm so grateful that I have a partner like that that's willing to go through,
yeah.
those things with me, and that's how we came up with that, man. And that's a growing business as well. It's thriving, doing well in the Houston area.
Mm,
We're looking to expand throughout Texas
mm,
and eventually come down here to North Carolina, and throughout the country, man, and be a household name,
yeah.
in the cleaning world. So we do commercial and residential, carpet, couches, beds, whatever you
Mm.
have. Carpet Kings does it.
That kind of flows. Like it kind of collabs within that real estate.
Hmm.
Going back into the real estate. What? How can I put this? Okay, what's the strategy? What's the strategy? Like, what did you do to maintain the properties?
So I would say first and foremost, and I'm the type of person where I don't know it all, and I'm still learning myself, man. I always tell people this, and
Yeah,
I'm a trial and error guy, and I do what works for me.
yeah.
There's a lot of people out here that like to tell you certain things to do and what works for them, but they're not going to tell you the real. And I'm that investor that's going to tell you the real. Tell you what you have to go through to get to that. So just taking you back, man, like you said earlier, is having that discipline to be able to be financially stable for one, because it takes a lot of money to do real estate, like
Mm.
a lot of money.
That's what they don't tell you though.
That's the stuff they don't
Yeah.
tell you. So it took a lot of discipline for me to save my money to be able to invest in the first place.
Mm.
Because without the money, I would have to go to a bank and borrow it, or um, maybe go to a private lender and borrow it. But I did it on my own, and it just makes it that much more better because this is my hard earned money that I used um, to purchase this property on my first time. So the strategy that I use is, like I said, my it's backdated taxes. Let's just say that my mother wasn't my mom and she had these properties, and I'm just riding through Rocky Mountain one day, and I'm riding down the street and I see a property that catches my eye. It looks boarded up. You can obviously tell no one stays there and hasn't given it any attention in a few years. You get that address, you look up the deed and see who the owner is. You call that owner and basically have a conversation with that owner, build rapport with that owner, and you say, I'm looking at this house. I see you haven't really came back and did anything with it. You're behind, let's just say $15,000 in taxes. Let's work out a deal to where I can pay these taxes and, possibly pay you a certain amount on top of that to maintain the deed of this property. And a lot of times they're gonna go with it because you're releasing them of a debt,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak.
Yeah.
A lot of times, let's say a property, the owner lives in DC or Maryland or Virginia or something, and they have a property in Rocky Mountain. They're never here.
Mm-hmm.
They're just accruing taxes on it. So it's like, let me go ahead and pay these taxes, and you go ahead and give me that. And a lot of times they'll do it. Sometimes they won't because some people just won't do it. But at the end of the day, the city's gonna come and foreclose on it anyway.
Right.
So it's like, why not let someone of your own or a young person that's trying to get on, give them that opportunity. And I'm just so grateful that my mom was able to do that for me because she could have easily been like, no, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to do something with it. But she, looked herself in the mirror and realized, my time has passed. My son wants to go and do more for himself. And what am I to hold him back from doing that? So that's the strategy I've used to maintain to gain the properties that I have now. And I'm going to continue to do that on top of, doing some other different things with real estate. But that's the main way, the gem that I can drop to everybody to kind of get into it themselves, man. But the main thing is being disciplined with your money.
Yeah.
You have to maintain a certain amount of money at all times because it is capital intensive. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's all I can say. It's very capital intensive, man. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
We'll be right back with another break.
Every day is a message, and every lesson helps with perspective. Like ambassador.
We are back. Episode 3, season 3. Generational wealth. What's new? What's new? How you plan to grow that generational wealth within you, your family, your intermediate family, your future
Mhm.
family? How you plan on growing that?
Man, generational wealth is the biggest thing in my life, man. That's what I'm planning for.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, so I can make sure that my name continues when I'm not here.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way to do it without, I mean, other than having real estate or a business or something that I can leave to my kids and grandkids, and they can look back and say that their grandfather, was a real estate developer in Rocky Mountain. And he owned X, Y, and Z properties and left these to me. Like that's the biggest thing to me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I plan on just continuing to make strategic deals, tightening up my business, making sure that I'm covering everything from the top down, and not just taking on too much on my plate. When I was younger, I started being an entrepreneur. I tried to jump out there too fast and jump in so many different businesses, but I had to take a step back and realize, like, let me master one thing first before I go on to the next. And right now, I feel like my plate's pretty full to the point where I can handle it, I can maintain it. Having essentially 3 businesses: a real estate business, Carpet Kings, and Culture Ave,
Mm-hmm.
is perfect for me right now.
Yeah.
And not saying that's all I want to do the rest of my life, but it's perfect for me right now to the point where I can get those who I want them to get, and I can go continue doing other things. And
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna stop buying real estate. I'm gonna keep buying real
For
estate.
sure. Yeah.
And that's how I'm gonna continue to grow my generational wealth, man, and make smart decisions, bro. Continue to make smart decisions, make smart deals, and do what makes sense. Be disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Rinse and repeat. It
Yeah.
worked for me throughout my life. Far when I realized it in junior college, I'm just doing the same thing and continue to go, man. Because football is just like life. I always say that, like, playing that sport taught me so much of who I was and who I am as a man, and I'm just rinsing and repeating where I got my success from. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue to do that.
For sure. You plan on building onto your team?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you have to always, continue to build on your team because there's always room for something on your team. I can't do everything. I'm realizing that now with the real estate development that I have playing project that I'm doing right now. I'm trying to do a lot of things with myself and handling different things, and I can't be everywhere at one time because like I said, I still have two other businesses I have to, you know, tend to and make sure they're doing good. So I'm gonna continue to try to grow my team, man. It's just for me, it's just finding that person or those people that match your energy and match your work ethic
Mm-hmm.
in today's society. Because a lot of people just want to get on the ride for some money or
Yeah,
cloud or a notary, but I'm looking for genuine people that actually want to see me succeed and want to see their self succeed and go further and possibly be bigger than me one day. I'm not a person that's gonna gatekeep or keep someone away from doing what they want to do. You know, I don't always have to be the face of anything. I'm humble enough to sit back in the back and play my role. And I'm
yeah,
just looking for people that want to play their role and let's build an empire together and continue to grow.
indeed, man, indeed. Anything you want to say to the camera? Anything you want to before we
Man,
close out?
I just want to thank you, man. Appreciate you bringing me on to your platform, man. First and foremost,
Yeah,
this was dope, man. I
yeah,
appreciate it. To any young kid out there that's looking for a way out or wants to be a real estate developer or have their own clothing line or any business or anything they want to do in life, man, continue to just listen to your parents, man, and keep the main thing the main thing. Stay
yeah,
disciplined, and don't be scared to ask for help. You know,
yeah,
always reach out to people, ask for help. You can reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram at Brandon Mykal. I'm always there, always available. Like I say, I'm giving. I always want to give out gems, man, and help people any way that I can. You know, mentorship because it wasn't given to me.
yeah,
So I'm one of those people that's going to give it to the younger generation or anybody my age or whoever it is that has a question or anything. I'm always here, man, and want to see my people win, man. So
yeah. That's the goal. That's the
yeah,
goal, man. Appreciate you for being on the show, man. Looking forward to doing more things with you, bro. And much love and success to you, bro.
I appreciate it,
For
man. Same
sure,
with you,
man.
man. Much
Yeah,
love.
for
Appreciate it.
sure. All right, there you have it. Road to Soulace, where you on the road to completion of oneself. Make sure y'all follow all the platforms at Road to Soulace, Instagram. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Run it up. Run it up. And yeah, love, peace.
Every day is a message, and every lesson helps with perspective. Like and